So, a lot of you are wondering why you haven't seen Duro in the tournaments recently, and that's because he was banned. So, I'm trying to get him unbanned, and for that, you know what we need? We need a drama PowerPoint presentation. So, DuroSVK was unfairly banned for extreme racism against the people of the Donetsk People's Republic, which you can see here on the map. And his last ever words in the Discord were he said soy, and it's really sad. He's been banned from the SDL Discord, and it's it's devastating. So as you know, DuroSVK has thousands of fans, and they all signed. Some of them have already signed the petition. So we've already got 15,000 signatures. It just cuts it off on the website. And you can see there's loads of fans have left supportive comments. Free Duro. Oh my god, I can't believe he was banned. Wow, I love Duro. Hashtag free Duro. And, he basically did nothing wrong. He did nothing wrong. He only said the word soy 24 times. He only said the word soy 24 times. And he only said the word cope 16 times. And he never did a single racism. So hashtag free Duro, free Duro, free Duro. Hello and welcome to this very special game of myself, Hippie, playing as 5E, 5EZ I should say, 5 easy peasy, and I'm up against DuroSVK, who is ranked 9th on the ladder and has some strong political opinions. We're playing on Geisa, and this is going to be a casted game with deck reviews because these are the two best divisions in the game right now by a long shot. By a long shot. Well, maybe not by a long shot, but they're definitely the two best divisions in the game right now. So once again, I'm on the weak side, and that's a major skill issue. And yeah, we'll go into the deck reviews, and then we'll do the deployment, and then we'll cast the game. Right, so this is DuroSVK's deck for 7 Panzer, and we'll jump into it tab by tab. First tab, not much to say here. CVs have come down in price a little bit. He's only bringing 2 in the Logi tab. This is your standard slow supply, 5,000 supply per card, 20 points. It's got armor. This is your wheeled supply, so this is 6,000 supply in a card, but it's not got a lot of armor. It's not got a lot of HP. Bit more expensive, and if you lose it, you're gonna cry. Infantry, Pioneer Flam's really strong because they've got a flamethrower. You have to be stationary to use it. You got to aim for 4 seconds, and he brings them in the SPW-70. Great transport for 25 points. It's got the KPVT, which is good. Can't pen armor like in Wargame, but it will mess up infantry. Pretty good range, mess up helicopters as well. It's got 2 armor, it's amphibious. Sadly, it does not have smoke, but can't have everything. Then he brings 4 cards of Mott Schutzen in the BMP-1 SP1. So that's 36 Mott Schutzen in the BMP SP1. Mott Schutzen are good, 45 points. They get this Resolute trait, which everybody in the DDR gets. They're all real Ubermensch. 7 strength, they get 2 MGs. Small arms don't do a lot these days, but if they ever did, this would be very potent. And the RPG is not half bad. And they get a free rank of veterancy, so they come at 2 vet for free. I'm surprised he thinks he needs 36 of them. The transport's interesting, so it's 20 points for 3 front armor, and the gun, so it's actually really strong. If I was in charge, 7th wouldn't have access to this one. They'd be forced to bring the one with the Malyutka or the Faggot. This, I feel, is something that 4th should get instead, but it is what it is. Military police are really useful for buffing up your units. You use them as a support. If you've got the micro for it, you just chuck them next to your unit. And then he's got Conkers, which also get a free rank of veterancy. He brings them in the car instead of anything else. So yeah, they come at 2 vet with 6, unlike other divisions, and they're also resolute and all that. Artillery, 4 Acacias and a mortar, that's pretty standard. Mortar comes in a car so we can get it there quickly. The advantage of bringing it in the MTLB is that if you get encounter battered, you chuck it in the MTLB and it usually survives. Can't do that with a car, but it's faster. Tanks, this is pretty standard, so the T-72M1 is way too cheap at 155. I don't understand why that was done. For 5 points, you get 2 front armor. Yeah, and 1 top armor. Yeah, so he brings 6 of those at 2 vet, 12 M's at 2 vet, and then the regular one at 2 vet, which is quite surprising. I actually bring that at 3 vet if I were to bring it. The base T-72 doesn't get smoke anymore, so there's a case to be made for bringing this, which for 90 points is worse. It is worse, but it gets smoke. So if your micro's on point, it's worth getting the one with the smoke. T-55s are great for each. They used to be 45, and they're still punching above their weight at 60, honestly. Just because of the armor and the dishka and the gun, they're really good against like infantry in forests, basically, and they're good at putting at the front of your push to tank. Although you'll see that the French get something better for that. T-72M, Command CV, T-55, Command CV, so that's 6 CVs. Recon helicopter, always bring a recon helicopter, always bring a recon helicopter, always bring a recon helicopter. Spezial Aufklärer, so these are your OP, GSR, Wunderwaffen, do-it-all, forward-deployed sniper team. These guys get an AT, crucially, whereas some of them don't. Like the Dragon Paras, they don't, but yeah, these snipers are a bit too good. And then some Recon Aufklärer in the Recon BMP-1. AA, Cub, Shilka, Strela. So yeah, fair enough. I don't even run the Shilka anymore. I think it's terrible. I just run the Cubs and the Strelas. Just put 2 Cubs on the map, and that's your entire enemy air force gone, unless he brings seed. And Strelas for 15 points are absolutely amazing if you think about what you're getting for 15 points. So the Igla is better, but it costs twice as much. I'd rather have 2 Strelas, and with 12 availability, I can get them. This is 15 points. Keep in mind, this helicopter here is 170, so you could buy 10 Strelas, and it would still be cheaper than this. But yeah, 1 availability gets the coke on. The gun's good, but you're never really in a position to use it. 10% ECM, good rockets. And then for the 120, you get worse rockets, worse gun, worse ATGM, but you get 2 per card, crucially. Crucially, you get 2 per card, so that's why people run these instead of just, 3 of these. Air tab, so 7th gets the MiG-23ML, which is pretty good, actually. The missiles on this aren't bad. Obviously, it's not a French plane, but it's alright. It does the job. Then he brings this, which is quite surprising. You don't see many people bring this. This has got 2 close-range missiles, so it's good against helicopters. The thing is, this is also really good against helicopters because of this 30mm ×2 gun and the anti-helo missiles. So most people don't run the AA2, they just chuck a seed plane. They just chuck an Su-22 at the helicopter. And it can also protect itself with the seed and the 40% ACM, etc. Then he brings a HE one, then he brings a cluster one. These used to be 4 availability, 3 availability, 3 availability, so it's good to see them come down. And that's it for this deck. Right, so this is my current deck for 5e. You should just copy this and go play 50 million ranked games because it's broken, they're broken, they are broken. And yeah, we'll jump into it tab by tab. So, fast wheeled supply, 20 points, 500 supply, not armoured but quick. That's pretty typical now. The VABs are still a bit more expensive than the little car things, like the P4 PC. So yeah, maybe I should actually run a P4 PC and 1 less VAB. But crucially, they get 1 armor, they're amphibious, and they take more damage, and the speed's good. Whereas the P4 oh, I forgot it's French. It's really fast anyway, but it's only 4 HP and it gets less than 1 armor, so a howitzer like mortars and stuff can kill this, but 3 availability, 20 less points. And then this is my 6,000 supply in a card. It's a helicopter, really useful as you'll see in the game. Infantry tab, commandos, really strong. Special forces, 850 meter range rocket launcher, shock, and you show up in the Super Puma. Super Puma, critically 8 HP, which means it won't die to an OSA in 1 hit. or any manpad, whereas a Lynx would die to a no-sir or a Chaparral in one hit. This won't, and that's why it's a little bit more. And Sappeur's Flam, I bring him in the car because I want to go fast. You could bring him in this. I mean, for this one especially, for 20 points, actually really good for 3 front armor. Decal's really not bad, but I like to go fast. Milan 2, I bring it in the car because I want to go fast. And yeah, you bring them at 2 vet, because if you bring them at 1 vet, they're good defensively, but as soon as they take a hit, they get stunned and then they miss, or their cohesion goes low and then they miss, and the accuracy is pretty low anyway. So that's why I do that. Scorte PC, these are just 8 men for 25 points with security, so they get good optics when stood still, and they're just cheap. They're quite cheap for what they are, 25 points, quite cheap. And you bring them in the AMX-10P, so that gives you a 60-point IV combo. So I take it at min vet, so I can spam that out as much as possible. Here we go, these guys got buffed recently, the price came down by 5 points, so you can now pay 40 points for an 850 meter range rocket launcher, 8 strength, guns are just guns. And yeah, they come in the Not Warrior. It's amphibious, but has 1 less armor than the Warrior, so that's your trade-off. And yeah, it's 20 mil instead of 30 mil. So I bring, but crucially the infantry coming in them is better. That's your trade-off. So I bring 2 cards of that, so I can get 12 of those, and group anti-char. Appelas are extremely strong, so I bring these, and I bring them in the regular VAB. Do not sleep on the regular VAB. 20 points for a wheeled 50 cal is amazing, and it's amphib. Not that that really matters too much, but yeah, it's just really fast, brings my group anti-char. I bring him at 1 vet because I need more than 4. If this was 6, I'd bring him at 2 vet, basically. Because yeah, they do tend to miss when they get hit a little bit. But hey, 2 Appelas. Artillery, 1 mortar, 1 paladin ripoff. This thing is really good. It's analogous to a paladin, but it's got armor and it's got 50 cal. And then, yeah, mortar for smoke shenanigans. I bring it in the fab for the same reason I said before. Just to reiterate. Not only is this armoured and will therefore survive counter battery, so you just chuck this back in, it's also wheeled as well. So it's really good for 20 points. Tanks, AMX-30B2, still broken. B stands for broken. Yeah, a lot of people have told me that it shouldn't have 11 front armor. But it is what it is. Gets an autocannon. Gun's decent. The speed is really key. It is so fast. And that makes it really good at engaging and then just driving away once it takes a couple hits. And it can take a couple of hits and it can engage at max range. P4 Milan, spam this thing everywhere. You get 8 of them. Just put them everywhere. Good stealth, good speed. Good AP if it hits, only 50% accuracy, but you just put them everywhere. Put them with your tanks, put them everywhere. CV tank, so this is a B2 CV. It's the same, except it's a CV. Another card of B2s, that's 12 B2s. And then the Brennus. The Brennus price went down, I think. So it's 155 now, so that's pretty crazy. For some reason, it's a 105mm gun with 18 pen. Not sure what's going on there. So that's the same as the T72 gun. Anyway, check this bad boy out. We'll talk about screening units. For 50 points, you get 12 front armor, so it can survive a front shot from a TOW 2. And yeah, it's just really, really good. I buy it, I put it in front of my stuff, and yeah, if it goes up against infantry, it stuns it straight away, survives all the AT shots that get chucked at it and kills them. But yeah, you just mix this guy in everywhere, 50 points, bring it at 1 vet, because you don't really care about it shooting, you just need it to take some hits. Because you can get 3 of these for less than the price of 1 of these. So imagine 1 of these with 2 of these in front. Something like that. Recon helicopter, always bring a recon helicopter. Bring a recon helicopter, always. This thing's broken AF. Price keeps going up. But yeah, very good optics. 18 pen at max range, 4 armor. So and also 3 side armor. So it can survive a max range shot from basically everything, or every tank gun, I think. There might be a couple really good ones that can't. Like maybe a HA could kill this at max range in one. But yeah, it gets the recon forward deployment, and you just chuck them all out at the start and just shoot the enemy's deployment before he can even unload, and then before the heavy stuff comes, you just run off. Regular AMX, so this one's a bit worse, 3 front armor, 16 pen, but basically does the same thing. Chocolate Eclairs, so these guys are really good because it's a 4-man recon squad, but they get an 850 meter range rocket launcher, and they come in the VLRA 50 cal, which is analogous to a UAZ KPVT basically. So this thing can shoot, these guys can shoot really potent combo, and this is your OP sniper team. They also get the VLRA 50. Crucially, they don't get an AT, so they're a little bit cheaper than the Spezial Aufklärer. And one less man. AA, Minstrels, very strong, very good man pad, 65% accuracy, amazing range. 60 points though, crucially. And then the Roland 3. Roland 3 is amazing. If you find that Seed keeps killing your stuff, just buy the Roland 2 instead. Just bring the Roland 2 instead. You can change this deck, you don't have to keep it the way it is. But I find that I can micro, or at least I believe I can, and so I take the Roland 3, and that gives me 10% extra accuracy, 400 meters more range, and 1 more HE. Which matters, because I think this can 2-shot an armoured helicopter, whereas this would be 3 shots, and yeah, the Rolands only fire 2 at a time. So yeah, you put 2 of these down, it's a no-fly zone. But if you find that the enemy Seed keeps getting you down, put this in your deck instead, it'll be almost as good, and you just won't have to worry about Seed at all. You just won't have to worry about it. Spag's a bit shit, so don't bring the Spag. Don't bring the Spag. Helicopter, Gazelle Hot 2, 55 points for 4 Hot 2s. It's good. It's very good. The Hot 2 has a very good accuracy, very high pen, good range. Sadly, because it's 4 HP, it dies in 1 hit to any manpad in the game. But that's what you get, and I only really need 4 of them. Air Tab, crucially, all of the French fighters come at 3 availability. Unlike the, something like the Tornado, which costs 245 points, comes at 2 availability. These guys all come at 3 availability, and you can bring 12 of them if you want. So this is a real steal for 185 points. It's got a very good turn in circle, better than an F-15. 4 missiles, 20% ECM, and crucially, it's got the fastest plane speed. Tied with the F-15, but yes, the fastest plane speed. For 155, you can buy this Helo Destroyer, this little Helo killer, this little Helo lawnmower. Whenever you see a helicopter, just chuck a 155-point Mirage 3E at it, and it's got serviceable anti-plane as well, but mainly it's for killing the helicopters. Jaguar ATGM, this guy is really good against tanks. Like, look at that, 60% accuracy, 30% pen, that's crazy. And it gets 2. So, yeah, and it's fast, and the agility is great, and it's got good ECM. And it's cheap, relatively cheap. Jaguar HE, same shit, different day. It's got bombs on it. And then the Jaguar Seed, 50% ECM, 175 points. The Seed missile's not amazing, but 50% ECM. And crucially, these all have the best plane nose guns in the game. The Deather 30 times 2. It is the strongest plane nose gun in the game. It kills infantry, it stuns tanks, kills helicopters, kills planes. Yeah, this is the strongest division in the game. Right, so starting with my deployment, you see I'm opening 3 AMX-10 RC Blindées here. For those of you who've been living under a rock, this map is imbalanced because the enemy will, if he chooses to do so, will get to here the same time I get to here, and he will get to about here when I get to about here. So he gets in my zone at the same time as I do, and this is my zone, you see. And then once that happens, do you see this sort of semicircle shape formed by the trees? This concave shape. So basically, not only does he get in your zone first, he then has a pre-made firing circle to shoot you from every direction. So it's a pretty tough map. It's a pretty tough map, but I'm playing a pretty broken division. So AMX-10s, 3 of them going down here. My idea is I'm going to secure this, and then I can get into my zone, and then I'll try and push across here to take the rest of it. That's my plan. You've seen that in a couple of videos of mine before now, and it seems to still be working, so I'm still doing it. And yeah, Dragon Paras for the recon. And this is the core of my push. So we've got 2 Roland 3s for the AA, and I've put them over here. In hindsight, I should have put them over here, but whatever. And then behind that, we've got a Minstrel, a Group Anti-Char, and a Sapper's Flam. And they go to here. And then 2 40-point chasseurs in their AMX 10Ps, and they're going to here. And one of these, what the hell is this, Hippie? Not seen you run this before. This is OP. This is OP. It's a siege engine thingy. And yeah, you might say 850 meters range. That's a bit whack. Well, in real life, apparently it was 350. But the accuracy is good, the HE is good, the rate of fire is not bad. But the main thing is the 12 armor for 50 points. That's what makes it really strong. You just use this to tank for your tanks. It's just an extra shot. It can tank 2 or 3 hits. It's crazy. It can tank 2 or 3 hits from a good tank. And yeah, it can drive into the forest and blow people up as well. So this is a really good unit since the price changes. So that's a really good unit. Moving over to the right, we've just got a holding force. So 1 CV to take all 3 zones. That's typical on Geisa. You should know that. Dragon Paras here for just scouting on that side. And then 2 P4 Milans just to stop him from doing a push across this side once he notices that I'm strong on this side. And some chasseurs. Chasseurs, of course, being 40 points for an 850 meter range rocket launcher. And they come in a not too shabby IFV. This one's amphibious. It's the same price as the warrior, but has 1 less side armor, and the autocannon's not as good, but it's amphibious. And it comes with better infantry. So that's the trade-off. Switching to my opponent's deployment, and of course deck codes are in the description. He's opened 2 recon helicopters, and one's going to the far left, one's going to the far right, so he's going to get good recon on what's going on. And then he's neglected to buy a single forward deployed unit, which is interesting. And yeah, so we got the Mott Schutzen, 45 points, doesn't have an 850 meter range rocket launcher. I think I've laboured that enough. And then yeah, the IFV is 20, so this is a very competitive IFV. Obviously the gun's not great, but it's 20 points, 3 armor. And yeah, so he's deploying the Cub. The Cub's going here. The supply for the Cub is going there. And then he's got a Shilka. Shilka's going here. 1 T-72M, presumably that's going there. Yeah, and then 1 Mott Schutzen here, just to stop AMX rushes down this road, presumably. And 1 Mott Schutzen here. Couple more guys in the middle, so 2 more Mott Schutzen in BMP-SP1s and 1 military police. And 1 CV to cap all 3 zones, typical on Geisa. Then he's got another Cub, which is going to be on this side, and that's the supply for that. And then another Shilka, and that's going to go to here, presumably. 2 T-72s going to here. And then 2 more infantry for screening, you know, because you have to be careful about these AMX-10s. If one of them gets behind you, that's it. So yeah, interesting deployment from my opponent. And he's ranked 9th on the ladder, and I'm ranked 22nd. So yeah, he's a very good player. He's better than me, but I'm playing a better division than him. But I'm on the weak side, so who's Cope's strongest? Who's Cope's strongest? Let's find out. Right, so they're off, and everybody's going to where we said they were going to go. Not much to say in these first few seconds of the game. Make sure you sign that petition. Let's unban DuroSVK. He didn't do nothing. He's a good kid. And yeah, interesting on the recon helicopters is because he has to find the AMX, right? Because they could be coming this way, they could be coming this way. He doesn't know what I'm going to do. Frankly, I didn't know what he was going to do either. But he's got this really slow. It's very strange. You don't really usually see this. Usually on Geisa, you know, they'll spam a bunch of Spezial Aufklärer in here, and then there you go. They're in your zone, and they can beat you up. Hence why I open these AMX-10s to get there first. Well, to get there second and blow him up, because it's an AMX-10. These guys have 18 pen on a 105mm gun. So yeah, I buy this 185-point ASF. I'll try and curve it round for this guy, but sadly the Cub hits me on first hit, which is quite rare actually. 45% accuracy, 20% ECM. So yeah, it's interesting to see this deployment, but basically there's a moth in my room and it's really distracting me. But yeah, the AMXs are here, and now they're gonna kill everybody. So we cap this zone. I don't know what's going on over here because I don't really have recon past this. And yeah, we move forwards, and then I start spotting T-72s coming towards me, and that's not good. In a straight up fight, in an honorable fight, I'll lose. So we don't want that to happen, so we run away. He who fights and runs away lives to fight another day. And then I've got the Roans over here, and I'm like, oh, I've now just conceded this entire side, because I've got no infantry to hold it, right? So as soon as the AMXs pull back, then it's empty. Over here, his guys are getting chewed up. But yeah, he's got in over here. The AMX-10 RC Blindée can survive one max range shot from a T-72M, the 4 front armor. I'm not sure the regular ones can. I don't think they can. Maybe they can, because the T-72M has 18 pen. But yeah, that guy gets domed. But yeah, we still got the AMXs shooting. They've got 10% stabilizer, but this guy's pretty slow, particularly when he's reversing. Thankfully, the accuracy on these guys ain't too great. But obviously my accuracy ain't too great either. Over on this side, the group anti-chargers nail a T-72 in the front and kill it in one. Oh, actually, no, I think they must have fired 2 volleys. My bad. I was going to say, that doesn't sound right. We lose one AMX-10 here to these wacky sight lines, just trying to get him back. Chasseurs, really, really potent. In the game against Bearthags, you saw that he didn't bring the Chasseur AMX-10 combo. Why not? It's amazing. It's amazing. 850-meter rocket launcher for 40 points, backed up by a really good IFV for 35 points. It's even amphibious. So yeah, he was unable to get his guy in this zone because I'd see him and blow him up with the AMX-10. So we're +2 right now, and I'm like, oh, I can make it +4. Obviously, I don't really know about these yet. Over here, the Shilka's trying to stun the Gazelle hot, but that's too bad. He's revealed himself to the Blindée, and that will kill him, just like it kills everything. Sadly, lose the Gazelle too hot, but it's a worthwhile trade for me. My 24p was purchased, but he can't really get past the Minstrel and the 2 Rolands. He survives, which is quite surprising actually, but he can't really get past them. Over here, I was sent infantry up here to take that, but the Motschutsen killed me. And, yeah, the group anti-char taking names. He's got the free extra veterancy, and particularly, you know, 2 Appalases. The Appalases is... I believe it's tied for the best rocket launcher in the game, and these guys get 2. And so, yeah, we're up to +4 now. Spot that T-72M, but he can't spot me because he doesn't have recon. Well, he does, but it's too far away. So he can't see this, even though I'm just doming all his guys one at a time. Over here, regular T-72 chewing up my chasseurs. But that's alright. They're cheap and cheerful. So I'm forced to zoom out a bit so you can see this guy still shooting that. Over here, you know, it's sadly the Motschutsen probably going to make quick work of this. I bought another Gazelle hot too, and you see he's not, you know, he's got self-propelled AA, but he's not got man pads. And so I see this coming. I can see it coming towards me. Like, it might say unit unknown, but I can see, wait a minute, there's a bloody box coming towards my helicopter. I wonder what it could possibly be doing. So I buy a P4 Milan for this side as well to shore off against some of these guys. Over here, getting messed up by the Spezialaufklärer with the Dragunov. And this AMX took a shot from a T-72, which I assume it killed because I don't see one anymore. And now he's going to go back to the supply helicopter. But yeah, this reinforcement route can't really use it right now. I mean, I can because all his tanks are dead, but I didn't know that. I assumed there'd still be some. And yeah, the Roland 3, I'm trying to move it up to kill that Mi-24P. The Dragon Para is giving great vision on this side. The Dragon Para is giving great vision on this side. Here we go, Milan 2 going for that Shilka. But sadly it misses. And yeah, we get a double hit on that because the Roland 3 accuracy is pretty high at 65%. The 50 cal, I think we'll lose the Spezial Aufklärer, but here we are, 2 AMX-30s now, so this is 135, and then the Brennus for 20 points gets 2 front armor and 2 more pen on the gun. It's 18 pen on a 105mm gun. Not sure what's going on there, because obviously this is a 125mm gun and has 18 pen. But yeah, apparently, yeah. And this is the reason these two divisions are so OP. The T-72M is 150 points. The T-72M1 is 155. And the AMX B2 Brennus is also 155. So you can just get so many of them. You can just get so many of them. So yeah, over here I bring up the AMX. Everybody's called AMX the IFVs. I bring up the IFVs. Sadly, this chasseurs gets eaten alive by that Mi-24D. And yeah, the Rover Milan's out of rounds. But yeah, this is very, 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 very too cheap. Look how fast it is. The road speed and the off-road speed are practically the same. But yeah, he's starting to kill off the AMX. He's starting to kill off the IFVs, but thankfully the Brennus is here. But we're still losing him. And then, yeah, because of the funky sight lines, I can't really shoot. But now I can. And now I can't again. And, you know, he's hitting me. And I'm hitting him. You'd expect him to be better in the open. But I'm too cheap for my price. And so, yeah, I'm just going to beat him in a max range fight here, it seems. The Milan misses again. And yeah, that T-72M dies to the Brennus, which is not supposed to be good in open combat against other tanks, but it is. And yeah, this misses its third shot on that Strela. And the Motschützen get through, but there's still one AMX-10 IFV here, and that's killing him. Over here, I didn't realise you could see all this. So I lost my eclairs, my chocolate eclairs, so I can't actually see this. Even though this is right here, I can't actually see this. I know it seems dumb, because this is obviously a recon unit, but it is what it is. And yeah, we've still got a Sublindi here. We've lost 2 Sublindis now, so that's our last one, but we've still got all the regular AMX-10s. And we're still +4, and you see he's losing a lot of stuff over here. And he's still able to pump out the tanks, 7th of course being the second most broken division in the game. Reinforce this with some more chasseurs with the IFVs to push through. Could have done with a recon, but I thought this was sufficient, but it doesn't see that, and it's right in front of it. It's very sad. And I bring up a Minstrel to shoot this Mi-24D, get some supply on the go for my Brennus and my Milan. And yeah, this is quite cheap. New icon for the Dushka. And yeah, it's still sitting quite comfortably. This guy could use some more sniper ammo, but here we go, here's the sniper. T-72M's going to kill my recon when it hits. Oh dear. So, smoke that guy and get him out of there. Buy another hot too, because he's not got any man pads. Don't see any man pads. I actually record this before I do the deck review, so I don't actually know if he has man pads in his deck or not, but I'm about to find out. And yeah, then this guy just hits 3 in a row and kills that Mi-24D. 65% accuracy, but you are paying for it. And yeah, starting to clear out the infantry. He does have a bit of a tank superiority here, so we actually lost that other B2. And this guy's out of supply. These guys are... 850's a lot, but it ain't enough to get these guys. But yeah, we're just using these to screen while we kill his screen. If you've ever played Hoi 4 Navy, you'll know what I'm on about. So this guy failed the nation and missed all 4 against that Shilka, so we get Bosman up here to do his job. Rousset will be fired, or at least demoted. And yeah, I bring up the Hot 2 and I buy a Jaguar ATGM. because I feel like I'm far enough ahead to buy air now. I don't know what his AA situation is. Sadly, it doesn't shoot, and then it gets hit by the Cub. But yeah, the Cub's only got 45% accuracy, so you'd assume that it wouldn't hit too. But sometimes it does. Over here, just sending the Brenners forwards to fight these T-55s, and, you know, just winning. This guy takes another hit again, so back to the helicopter with you. You really want to keep him alive. This man's advancing straight into a Hot 2 and a Milan 2. I brought up some infantry Milan teams to further solidify this position against his tanks. And yeah, it just dies. Bring up some chasseurs here. A chasseur to try and... because if I can get this, that would be really helpful. But he's still got that Motschützen in there. Over here, you know, I get 55% accuracy. He gets 45%. He gets 55% accuracy. He gets a better stabilizer than me. He also gets this resolute thing. I'd like to say, once again, these are the two best divisions in the game. Most people can't do things like this. Spam out tanks all game, not run out. You lose them all at hilarious rate and still spam them all out. But yeah, there's quite a weak stabilizer on the AMX-30s. So yeah, these Milans are now in these buildings, or at least this one's about to be. You see this EBG is actually still alive from before. Do a ping on that Spezial Aufklärer, because they have this habit of disappearing as soon as they get into some trees. This man's engine's been destroyed, and all these tanks are really low now. So he needs some supply. He's buying more Motschützen. He does need a screen for his tanks. And yeah, I see this as well. Sadly, we lose a supply truck. Not sure where that was. Okay, so we lost the Dragon Pirates here as well. And then these Milans are just going to start shooting this. We got this guy over here with that Milan because it didn't have recon with it, so it probably couldn't see this. Now he's doing a big cool attack, but there's a Brennus here, there's an AMX-30 here. You see how much it tanks, right? You just sit there and just take hits. Okay, keep shooting. I cost 50 points. Meanwhile, the Milans are pouring, you know, doing the real damage. The two Brenni and the Hart and the Milans here and the Milans here, they're doing the real damage. So there goes the CV tank. Cub, not the most effective anti-helo weapon. Bring up this Brennus as well. I don't know about these. And yeah, another push gets popped by 5 EOP. This Gazelle from before. No, that might have bought another one. Interesting that they haven't leveled up. So yeah, another failed push there. Another push coming in here. And a Katsia has been purchased to try and clear this out, but I'm on 806, so that's kind of too late in the day to do that. And yeah, then this guy goes to town, starts killing these people. Bring up some more Brenni, bring up some more B2s, bring up some more Milans, and he surrenders. So what did we learn today? So yeah, Duro was rank 9, and now he's gone to 10 because I just beat him. He lost 15 MMR from that because I was rank 22. I'm now rank 18. Fans of the series will know that Duro has played like every game competitively, basically. But yeah, you see how broken my division is. His division's the second most broken, and it still just didn't even look close, right? So he's a better player than me. He got the better side of the map than me. He picked the second most broken division in the game. I picked the most broken division in the game, and it wasn't even close. So I hope that's convincing. But obviously, if you're made in France, then you'll probably still tell me that they're too weak.